Hello everyone, Cup here and welcome back to some more Mechabellum. In my last video I talked about the Stormcaller meta being back potentially, but I also said give it a couple of more days maybe and let's see what people come up with to counter Stormcallers. I feel like this day has come yesterday. At least one player did try something that was actually very successful and is now also, so I heard, being adapted by other high level players. Let me show you. So this match is between Lul and Doksun, and Lul is the person who tried something new yesterday, and I want to show off especially Lul's strategy here. So yeah, Blue is starting as Marksman Specialist with obviously the Marksman and Arclights and Stormcallers, and Red is Giant Specialist with Crawlers and Phoenixes. Red added some Arclights for potential chaff clear. There's no chaff yet on Blue's side, but there we are, Fangs getting added. And Blue, by the way, positioning focused on one side. I feel like this might actually be the best choice whenever you start with Marksman Specialist, because you really want to win one side and keep this Marksman alive at basically all costs. Because this one gives so much XP when it dies. So it's kind of important to win that side and then have a good chunk of your army to potentially also win the second battle, which is taking place right now. However, it doesn't look good. 2 crawlers coming in. Unlucky. And 1 crawler actually. 1 crawler left. And in the dead zone of the Stormcallers, and they can't do anything. Subsidized Stormcaller for Blue. And for Red, so here we go. Stormcaller meta coming in. But for both players. Also some more Fangs added here by Blue that come in delayed. So when you are playing Fangs as chaff, it's very important and very strong to kind of spread them out, not only horizontally but also vertically. So you want some here in the front that can also block sentries, but you also want some in the back somewhere, like next to the tower or even behind the tower, and they will come in and block later on, so you basically have chaff throughout the entire round is the goal, and these really help a lot of the time coming in late, especially against something like Phoenix. When Phoenixes get stuck on the Fangs and then you have some marksman or something to take them down, this often decides these kinds of battles. But yeah, Orange Man died once again. And there's no, and well, there are a couple of Fangs actually. Not enough Fangs to take down 2 Phoenixes, I'm pretty sure. Especially with some Stormcaller support. Well, Stormcaller is going to die, I'm thinking, yes. Okay. So it's really just the 2 Phoenixes left. War Swarm for both players. Especially good for Blue here. Only Phoenixes for anti-air. And yeah, Red is putting it defensive because Red knows, yeah, I'm kind of weak to Wasps. So they also picked up the Wasps to defend. Blue isn't as weak because of the Fangs to Wasps. By the way, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I'm still pretty sick, but I wanted to record this because I feel like this or these two matches that I'm going to show you are kind of going to be defining to a good degree for the next few weeks at least, until we get a next major patch. Because yeah, I think this might actually become one of the meta strats, because it's really strong and because of all the Stormcallers. But yeah, you will see, you will see. And oh, actually blue repositioned the wasps, so also going defensive, because blue didn't have fangs in the middle either. Fangs were only on the outside, so blue also wanted to defend. And was kind of annoying here for the sniper, for the marksman. Is it going to survive this turn is the question. Well, it's taking out the phoenixes at least, but there are still so many Stormcallers, they are going to take this one down. Yep. But, and the other phoenixes are still alive as well. So it feels like every round is the same actually. Always kind of close wins for red. Orange man always dying before it can take down all the phoenixes. Skip by blue. And yeah, I don't really see a good choice here. Maybe redeployment if they want to go for some shenanigans. But both players playing somewhat defensive. Redeployment also doesn't really do that much. By the way, some Phoenix flank here, or not flank, but Phoenixes with mobile beacon on the outside here could actually take the tower. Potentially. Maybe even one more Fang pack here to pull away this stuff, and then Phoenix with mobile beacon here and could actually get the tower. Just as an idea. But yeah, let's see what these players have in mind. More Stormcallers by blue, 5 Stormcallers now. And some mobile beacon crawlers to distract all of these. Mobile beacon crawlers, really good at distracting a couple of shots from the Stormcallers, as you probably know. Stormcallers trying to hit them, but obviously crawlers way too fast. Yeah, 5 Stormcallers on that side and 5 Stormcallers also on blue side. And yeah, also more Fangs in the middle, delayed. So the Fang setup here is looking pretty good now. Delayed on all sides. Spread across the entire board. So setup on Fangs. Now blue has to transition to something else, and they will here in a bit, I'm pretty sure. So Stormcallers and Fangs are kind of the base setup for this. I'm feeling at least. And with the added Stormcallers on the right and the mobile beacon crawlers especially, I'm assuming. Right side once again winning for blue. However, tower debuff was really bad here, so the orange man got actually kind of one shot by one Stormcaller. Iron Blast for red and also for blue. Extremely strong against Stormcallers in a line. That's, by the way, a reason why you might not want to put all your units in one line. Not only Stormcallers, but any kind of range unit, also snipers for example. Marksmen, you also might want to consider putting them a little bit apart, also vertically. So horizontally there is space in between them, but not vertically. And yeah, Iron Blast going to be really good for both players here. And would you look at this, there is a War Factory. And it fits perfectly between these Stormcallers, and there are Fangs in front. So this was planned, this positioning. Lul, I watched, or I spectated Lul yesterday for like, I don't know how many games. And he was basically forcing the same strategy every game, more or less. And yeah, this is a basically pre-made strategy to a decent degree, not fully. Also still need to react to what's going on and what your opponent is doing and to the cards and everything, but to a degree. Anyways, War Factory with the efficient maintenance tag, so it only costs 50 now per turn in upkeep. 150 without, and now it's 50. Left side getting obliterated with the Iron Blast, and also there's a Vulcan coming in for some reason. Blank Vulcan. And yeah, Iron Blast took down basically the entire left side. However, War Factory quite tanky. So it's buying a lot of time, and maybe these Stormcallers can take out some more of Red's Stormcallers. Also the Fangs putting down a Phoenix here. Oh, can these Stormcallers maybe actually also take down this Vulcan here? Going to be close. And did you just see that, by the way? I feel like these Stormcallers did more damage than they were supposed to, because there was a tower debuff. But even with the tower debuff, these one or two leftover Stormcallers just now, it feels like they did full damage. That's why the Vulcan died. Just as a side note, I feel that's bugged sometimes. I don't know when or how, but sometimes it feels like Stormcallers deal full damage, even with tower debuff. I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I noticed it so often, and just now, pretty sure the Vulcan had way too much health left to get shut down by one or two debuffed Stormcallers. But anyways, look at this. A second War Factory and Missile Interceptor. Wow. So, Missile Interceptor got buffed on the War Factory. I'm not sure. In the patch notes it was under the War Factory change, so not sure if only the War Factory's Missile Interceptor was buffed or also the Mustangs, but I'm assuming only the War Factory. I haven't tried the Mustangs and I didn't see anyone try the Mustang Missile Intercept. But anyways, Missile Intercept on the War Factory is so good now. I tested it in a solo testing grounds, and I actually had 6 packs of Stormcallers next to each other, and the War Factory could intercept them all, shooting at the same time. At least the first salve while they were still at max range. When the War Factory gets too close, it can't shoot them all anymore. But yeah, look at this. 2 War Factories are shutting down all of this. So the Stormcallers almost don't exist anymore. It gets weaker over time, and especially if the War Factory gets closer. But the Missile Intercept is really, really good. Melting points were added, by the way, on red side, responding to the War Factories. Or at least the one War Factory, and they kind of expected a second War Factory to come out. That's why another melting point was on the left here. However, oh, almost dead. Very close. Actually, if the Stormcallers with the tower debuff didn't kill that Vulcan, and that might have been a bug, I'm not sure, this would have been over now. Just giving you an FYI here. But Lul is still alive. And also getting the Phoenix tech. So triple tech War Factory now by Lul, and getting the shield on the fangs makes them so much stronger as chaff. Getting temporary range, taking a credit. So Lul is on the ropes here. He knows he has to push this now and turn it now. Otherwise he's dead, obviously. And adding some more fangs as well. So temporary range as well as Phoenix production is the big difference this turn. Well, also the shield on the fangs, of course. But damage wise, it's the Phoenixes that are coming out now. And Phoenixes are really good here. To deal with the opponent's Phoenixes, Arc Lights, Melting Points, also Stormcallers. Phoenixes are really good here as attack on the War Factory. Both players once again going defensive with the Wasps. There are 3 the sentry missiles in the back here on red side, so blue is also putting it defensive. And let's see. War Factories with Phoenix spawn and missile intercept. The fangs here are alive for so long because all the missiles from the Stormcallers are getting intercepted, all the arc lights are getting shut down by good damage from Phoenixes, War Factory or Stormcaller. I didn't see who actually targeted them, but all of them can take them down easily. And fangs just alive for so long that they can block the melting points. And with the melting points blocked, War Factory can just move in and produce more and more Phoenixes as well. And yeah, this is critical mass now, it seems. Lost the War Factory on the left, but doesn't really matter. Right side was won pretty hard. Orbital coming down for both players. And another War Factory, of course. And once again, temporary range and taking a credit. So how is Red going to respond? Red is going for Launcher Overload and Incendiary Bomb. So they are trying to out-missile the missile interceptors. However, there's also a third War Factory now that can also help with intercepting. So maybe on the far right here there are 3 all shooting at the same time. Maybe some get through here, we will see. However, 3 War Factories, even with Launcher Overload, I'm not sure this is enough on the Stormcallers, but let's see. Also, Fire Upgrade was picked. As I said, the Fangs were alive for so long because of the shield. And because of the missile intercept, of course. And now if just 1 missile lands, it's already really good because there will be fire on the ground and it will take down a couple of fangs. And positioning a little awkward here with this one, so it was mobile beaconed back, so it can produce Phoenixes in peace, kind of. And no bubbles coming down for red here. The orbital took down so much chaff and Stormcallers. And what good is Launcher Overload to out-missile these War Factories if you don't bubble though? A couple of Stormcallers went down pretty quickly. And now there are just less missiles coming in and less missiles to intercept for the War Factories, so they are having a pretty easy time overall. And once again, Phoenixes produced and doing a lot. Left side actually won this time as well and took down the tower. One war factory is still going down though to the melter. So it is not a super hard win. But once again, it seems like blue is stabilizing here. And this is looking to be potentially the last round now. Either way. Skip for blue. And another war factory. Wow. Yeah, I kind of like this. Like to see this. War factory spam is pretty fun. You don't see it often. I'm actually somewhat glad that this Missile Interceptor was buffed. This gives war factories, especially right now with the Stormcallers being more of a thing again, gives war factories more of a reason to be in the game. Let's say that. You didn't see much war factory play before, but we might see more now going forward. And oil coming down here. Going to try and... So blue is trying to manipulate the fire here from the Stormcallers to set this on fire. Yeah, with these crawlers running in, the Stormcallers will shoot these crawlers and set this on fire. And this will actually hurt red, or at least the chaff here will run into this fire. Ion blasts going to be somewhat good. Well, this one, I'm not sure why it's positioned like this. Probably should just chunk through the shields, to be honest, because there's no way this would do much, even if there wasn't a barrier here. I feel like should still go for this. Anyways, this one though is going to hit a lot of Stormcallers once again. And yeah, 4 war factories, some Stormcallers going down pretty much immediately. Fire on the ground here, taking out the chaff on the right side. And yeah, Missile Intercept basically intercepting almost everything. Especially with 4 war factories. However, once the melting points can lock on, they are really good, obviously. And also this melter has parasitic ammo, so a lot of crawlers spawning. Look at this, how many crawlers. When a melting point takes down a war factory, I don't know how many crawlers spawn, but at least like 20 or something. It's a lot. However, right side got rolled. And there's just too much for this one melting point to take down, and it's falling. Tower debuff coming in. However, just Stormcallers left. And this is the game, it seems. Yep. GG's. So yeah. A very close and interesting game. People are also not sure how to play against this at the moment, it seems. I'm not sure if doubling down on the Stormcallers was the call here, to be honest. But yeah, let's see. I have another replay of this, of a similar game, kind of. Again, it was by Lul against Monks in the final. Let's not spoil anything. Let me show you. By the way, this replay I joined late. So when you join, not at the beginning, it will start at the round that you joined in. So I joined at round 2, so the replay also starts round 2, unfortunately. However, well, round 1 is not that exciting anyways. But let's talk about what's going on here. So Giant Specialist from Monks has some Arc Lights and Phoenixes and some Crawler Chaff. And red is Cost Control with Assault Fangs now. And Sledgehammers, Arc Lights and Fangs. And also Monks or blue is going aggressive kind of on one side. And is going for boats already, round 3. And once again on red side, on Lul's side, we see Fangs and shielded Fangs. Kind of spread out across the entire board. As I said, that was somewhat of a base setup for this. Shielded Fangs just so good to distract and deal as chaff. Was Swarm coming down here, right on top of the Phoenixes kind of. So Phoenixes are going to get overwhelmed by these. Monks, by the way, blue is going for a flank with crawlers and 1 overlord. There are only Fangs at the moment to deal with the overlord. Yeah. Everything else was completely overwhelmed though. So this was a lot of commitment by blue. This flank here. And let's see if this 1 overlord can clean up all of this. There are a lot of Fangs left. Shielded Fangs. And also these wasps. Tower debuffs coming in. And I'm not sure the overlord can deal with all of this. Finally damage coming in. Fangs so slow. Took a while for them to get close enough. But yeah. Kind of a hard loss this round for blue. So the flank, not that great. Or at least, well, the flank came through, but everything else got completely obliterated. Enhancement module for blue and junior manufacturing specialist for red here. And 1 more overlord with high explosive ammo upgrade now. So blue is doubling down on this flank. And by the way, an unusual answer here by red, you don't see this often, was with area specialization. And also some crawlers in the front to distract obviously, and 1 sentry to take down these crawlers, so the wasps can attack the overlord right away. And crawlers were enough to distract this overlord. It seems like, yeah, flank is getting 1 here. Anti-air was actually good enough. And yeah, the rest once again getting completely wrecked. This is looking to be a very quick game here, a very quick final. Laser sight for blue. And the shield airdrop for red. And 1 overlord was sold, and there are Mustangs now. Mustangs with range and splash. Really good against the Fangs as well as the Wasps. Let's see if blue can still stabilize here. Another loss like this, like last round, and this would be over here. Red has so many credits, by the way. Not sure what they should do. And going for more wars with anti-air. So this is really bad for red. Obviously, 1 of the overlords was sold already. And yeah, red was thinking blue would just double down on the overlords here. And that was definitely the incorrect call. Because not only is there 1 less overlord even, but also there are Mustangs now with range and splash. So the wasps are completely like 600 credits down the drain here. And this shield here very good though on the right, the barrier. Blocking all these Mustangs for quite a while. Same on the left here though. These barriers also really strong. Not a ton of barrier damage on either side. And also leveled some wasps here, by the way. Tower debuff coming in just at the right time before the wasp would overwhelm this small pack of Mustangs here. And yeah, with the tower debuff, these Mustangs are actually enough here to win this round. But look how close this round even was. Even though Red invested all in air in wasps that basically did nothing. And Blue invested all in the correct counter to the incorrect build units by Red here. So even though it was still so close, so Red was at a real strong advantage before, but last turn was definitely very bad. And there is once again a War Factory on Red side. And first tag right away, efficient maintenance. Not going to lose out on those upkeep credits. And fortresses coming down for Blue. 2 fortresses, one left, one right, and they are getting the punch upgrade. So new meta, War Factory versus old meta, Fortress and Mustangs. Kind of. It's a bit unusual here, a bit unconventional, all of this, and anti-air wasps and all that. But yeah, it now seems like Blue is just going for Fortress and Mustangs, which was the meta strat before last patch at least. It's still really, really strong, especially Fortresses are so good right now. But yeah, this War Factory, good damage, taking down the barrier pretty quickly. But there's so much stuff here still, and also some crawlers still coming in. Distracting to a degree, and this War Factory though, yeah, damage on the War Factory is really good. Could take down this fortress even with nano repair kit. However, right side obviously no War Factory, and right side got demolished. And yeah, once again, these wasps here on Red side, I think Red was having too much fun and was too confident because they won so hard the first couple of rounds. Going into wasps and anti-air wasps in general is already kind of but then also going even more into them was a big mistake here. And another War Factory coming in with Missile Interceptor. And look at that. Why would he pick Missile Interceptor? There are no Stormcallers on the board. Odd. I'm still not sure if this is a bug or not, because it feels like a bug to me, but has been in the game for a while now and it wasn't changed, so I'm assuming it is not a bug. Missile Intercept can intercept Rocket Punch from the fortress. And yeah. So the Rocket Punch is really fast, so it's not easy to intercept, but also the Missile Intercept on the War Factory is really strong. So let's see how this works out if these War Factories can intercept these fists. And yeah, completely sold out and repositioned this flank here. Completely abandoned. And let's see if we can find a fist here and if it's getting intercepted or not. Yeah, all these wasps just getting mowed down, and it was intercepted here on the left, I think. And once again it was intercepted, it didn't land. And once again intercepted just in front of the War Factory. And once again, I think it didn't. I think all 4 fists on the left side did not land. They exploded right in front of here and didn't do damage. I'm fairly certain. But even with that, the Mustangs, one with laser sight, and I think there were 1 or 2 more items on the other Mustangs. They are partially level 2 now, because also partially because of the wasps. They feed these Mustangs round after round. I think Red is selling out of the wasps, but because Red had like 5 packs of or 6 packs of wasps, and you can only sell 1 pack a turn, Red is stuck with those anti-air useless wasps that just give XP to the opponent's Mustangs. So yeah, I can't stress enough how big of a mistake those wasps were. And by the way, when I saw this live, the first turn even, the anti-air wasps on the first turn that they were built here to answer this Overlord, I was thinking, why even go wasps to begin with? Because I know that Red wanted to go War Factory again, most likely, so why not go for Phoenix? Because there's Phoenix production on the War Factory, and even if you can give upgrades on these Phoenixes that you would use to counter the flank, and those upgrades would also be on the spawn Phoenix from the War Factory. So yeah, Phoenixes would have made so much more sense, and Phoenixes would have also been so much less useless at this point in the game. But yeah, let's not dwell on that too much. 4 War Factories now on the board, with Missile Interceptor and Efficient Maintenance. Also, Blue is selling out of the giants here, of the fortresses. There were 3 fortresses, now there are only 2. Because Blue realized, oh, the fists are getting intercepted. I know that Mangst did not know about this for some reason. Mangst was very confused that the fists got intercepted. And yeah, trying to sell out of these over the next turns, I'm pretty sure, and also went for melting points. By the way, Overlord's Fortress, no melting points. This only works because a Blue is Giant Specialist. Being Giant Specialist is so important here for Blue, so Blue can just switch around and sell out of the giants he doesn't need anymore and go for the giants that actually counter. And the melting points have range and lock on to these War Factories quite quickly. Right side completely rolled, left side also, both War Factories lock on and going down here. And yeah, once again, by the way, Mustangs plus melting points, also a kind of meta strat from last patch at least. Orbital bombardment for red. And Phoenix production coming out. Let's see if these Phoenixes are going to be enough to deal with the melting points in particular. Barriers coming down to protect against the orbital. Orbitals on both sides and barriers on both sides. And by the way, now, well, there is still 1 fortress, but now there's the anti-missile tech on the War Factory, and it's actually useless here, except for this 1 fortress with fists. So yeah, once again, this is the big strength of Giant Specialist, by the way. You can bait 1 answer with 1 giant, and the baited answer were the anti-air wasps. Then the next answer to the next giant was anti-missile for the fists on the fortress. And now they just sell out of the fortress and go for the melting point to counter this here. And red invested so much in answers to things that are not on the board anymore. So there are no overlords anymore and there is only one fortress left, so anti-missile is also kind of useless. A lot of wasted credits here on red side. But yeah, let's see how this goes now. Are the phoenixes going to be enough here? Orbital also kind of unlucky this turn, by the way, helping take down the phoenixes. Phoenixes not getting protected by the bubbles because they are in the air and above the bubbles. Right side taking the tower. This war factory still working on these melting points, but it's not enough. It's getting run over now. And yeah. War factories not winning this time. GG's. So yeah, I already said everything important about this game. So for one, wars with anti-air, not the call here in my opinion to begin with, and especially not doubling down. Should have just gone for phoenixes and maybe even get a tech on the phoenixes, and then the phoenixes from the war factories would spawn with techs as well. And blue kind of... I feel like blue only won this match because of giant specialist. If blue wasn't able to just switch around in the giants multiple times, this would have looked different. So the commitment into the overlords here and then just going out and going into fortress and everything, you can only really do that as giant specialist. And yeah, Mustangs still strong, especially, but I also feel like there should have been more Stormcallers here, I feel like, on red side, and maybe even with fire to take down those Mustangs. And with those Mustangs gone, actually the wars wouldn't be useless because the wars could distract the melting points in the end as well. But yeah, good game either way. Let's see if we will have more War Factory anti-missile shenanigans going forward. I already know that a couple of high-ranked players today, so the day after the tournament this happened, are playing now War Factory with anti-missile. So LoL might have started something here and might have helped define a part of the meta going forward here, with the anti-missile being so strong against Stormcallers. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.